Good morning. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news in here, but it's videos going around saying that women under, what is it, 35 or 40 are just like damaged goods. Baby, let me tell you. Now, I have a lot of male friends. The number one reason why a man wants to date a younger female is because she is easy to manipulate. We just gonna lay it out on the table. We gonna call a spade a spade. They want younger women because they are more impressionable. They don't have a lot of life experiences. They are more easy to get over on. It's just easier for them. It's easier to get somebody younger that's going to put up with their shit. That's just what it is. But older women, you have to be accountable for. You have to do right by them. They are more seasoned women. They have more experience of life. So they are not damaged goods. You just going to do right by them when you step to them.
Women over 35 have hit the wall. This is true and untrue at the same time, and let me explain why I say this, okay? For my professional expertise, I have worked with hundreds of women, and I have worked with a lot of women over the age of 35. Now, there's a group of those women who have absolutely no issues with dating. No issues with encountering men who want to be with them, who want to commit to them, who want to be serious about them. Then you have another group of women who have a very difficult time with those exact same things. Now, I want y'all to remember that. The thing that young women have on their side is youth. So women in their early 20s, mid 20s, you know what I'm saying? Even like this 20s period, but especially like the early and mid. They are young, they're supple, right? They're impressionable, right? They don't have certain baggage that older women have. And because of their youth, and especially because they're attractive, they don't have to be so smart. Right? They don't have to have, certain levels of integrity. They don't have to have a high standard of character because they have youth on their side. And all of us as women have gone through this process of having youth on our side. So if you were to put a woman who is 25 in the same room as a woman who is 35, and these women have a lot of the same things, so maybe the same height, same weight, same physical appearance, so on and so forth. And both of those women have bad character, bad personality. Both of those women are not easy to be with. If a man had to choose, like, hey, I have to choose a woman, he's likely going to choose the younger one. However, let's go back to what I was talking about initially, where I said there are two categories of women over 35. One that has absolutely no issues with men. Men will still marry them. Men still want to be with them. And the ones who a man would not spit on them if they were on fire. The reason for that is they have bad character. They have a bad personality. They don't have the wisdom. They don't have the intellect. They don't have the things that they should have at their age. They make life hard, not just for themselves, but the people around them. Then we want to add the fact that they are out of their prime. They're out of the typical baby making ages. So yes, women in that category have hit the wall. But the women in the category who know themselves, who take care of themselves, who don't have bad character, who's a pleasure to be around, who don't take nobody's shit, but also is respectful, those women over 35 will never have a problem. Men will still gravitate towards them because a man over 35, if he's a high caliber man, he typically doesn't want a younger woman because she does not have the wisdom, she does not have the life experience or the conversation that would even excite him, that is even something he'd be interested in. So ladies, if you're over 35 and you don't want to hit the wall,
you're going to expire before the age of 25. By the age of 35, literally no man's going to want you. Let's talk about why this is the biggest load of BS. So my mutual Cecilia Regina, who I'm tagging below, they're doing a series this week on how when it comes to the wealthiest men in the world, older women are the prize. And I'd just like to add some more examples to this conversation. So one of the examples that Cecilia gave was Jeff Bezos, who's arguably the wealthiest man in the world. And his current fiance, Lauren Sanchez, who's 53. Dr. Moyo, who was 50 when she married her billionaire husband. Melody Hobson, who was 44 when she married her billionaire husband, George Lucas. So far, what do we have in common? Intelligence, drive, and success. I'd also like to add Amal Clooney, who was 36 years old when she married actor George Clooney. Serena Williams was 36 when she married her Reddit co-founder and billionaire husband, Alexis Ohanian. Now, if we're talking about the highest echelons of society, you want to get down to royalty? No further than Princess Angela of Liechtenstein. She literally married Prince Maximilian of Liechtenstein when she was 41 years old. 41 people! And she did not give birth to Prince Alphonse until she was 42 years old. She met Prince Maximilian at a party because she was in the right circles. She's a highly accomplished fashion designer. She went to Parsons and she was in the right rooms. And even more famously, we have Meghan Markle, who was 36 when she married Prince Harry, and didn't have Prince Archie until she was 37. When it comes to success, a lot of these people didn't meet until their mid-30s at the earliest, once they started to reap the benefits of their years of work. All these women are highly accomplished, intelligent women who stand on their own. So when society is saying that women expire at a certain age, ask yourself, does society have it together?
Another reason why I can speak on women being older and lonely and why they shouldn't get any type of special treatment or you should feel sorry for them is because I was raised around a lot of aunties and my mama. Like it was a lot of feminine energy around me, just in all honesty. My mom was 20. She was dealing with my brother's dad. My brother's dad was basically a thug. He was a thug. He was a rapper. He was a drug dealer. He was that whole image. And after she left him, after they broke up, she started talking to she talked to a couple dudes, but it was nothing serious. Around the time she got around 25, 26, that's when she started talking to James Vance. Now, from 26 all the way to like 32, somewhere in that age range, 30, 32, she started talking to another dude. And this dude was basically a nobody. He was a lame. And this is the guy who basically jumped on me. When me and my mama had a fight, this is the guy that attacked me when I was a little kid. Then from there, it was my other brother's dad. They only talked for about a year or so, maybe 2 years. But then after that, it was nobody for a while. And then it came around with Joe. Now, Joe is basically my little brother's stepdad. And then the whole Joe situation didn't play out the way that she thought it was. I mean, she ended up marrying him, but you could tell that it was more so like she didn't treat Joe the way she treated James Vance. That's what I'll say. Because I don't want to speak bad about Joe, you know. But she basically Joe was the stepfather that came around, and no matter what he done, it was gonna never be enough. And he's an older man. It's like he don't got time to be trying to. So you kind of get it from both sides. Plus, he had a kid too. But what I'm trying to say is, every level of my mom, it started off with her being with the playboys, and then she went to the dude that had some sense that can lead her, and then from there, nobody else who was on that caliber came around no more. And then it was the guys who she can probably push around. Matter of fact, one guy, the guy who I was talking about towards the intern of her 30s, this guy, when they were in high school, he always had a crush on her. So he was like her high school crush that she never gave a chance. But she gave him a chance by the time they got 30. And I believe Joe was the other guy that was, when I was a little boy, my mama had me by my dad, and then Joe was the guy who was just always around like the best friend. So by the time she got, around 40 or something, then she gave Joe a chance. Now, what I'm trying to say is this. Not only my mom, I just gave my mama. Only reason I give my mama stuff is because I sat there, I seen it all. Like I seen every level of my mom. I seen my mama was 18. Well, I seen when my mama was like 19 going into 20. When I had to be at my grandma's house because she was at college, I seen it all. So I see it firsthand. And the reason why that is so important is because every woman that you look at, their timelines be the same way. When they're young, they give their best to the fuck boys. That's what they want to call them. Fuck boys or playboys. Then they might try to find a guy that got some sense in his head, but then they realize they can't listen because they already kind of messed themselves up. And then by the time they get 30, it's like, let me give those other guys a chance. Maybe I can push them around and I enjoy being the one that runs everything. They don't like that either. So then you see it a point where it's like they get bitter and then act like they're not bitter. I have aunties the same way. My aunties was younger. One of my aunties, she was like I would say around 18, 19 too. She had her first baby daddy was a dude that was like 12 years older than her. So she was dealing with grown men while she was in high school. And even her, she had a chance when she got married. She got married to a guy that made six figures around the time she was around 30 something. But even before that, she married guys that made good money, but she couldn't stick to them. Once you raise that body count, when you have sex a lot, this auntie I'm talking about, when you have sex a lot, you can't bond to a man. You can't. It's not gonna work. It's only a matter of time. I have another auntie, and she basically had good guys all across the board, but I don't think no guy was ever enough for her. She always felt like she can do better. So this auntie, she's pretty attractive. When she would leave one guy, she would leave one guy to a better guy. Then she would leave this guy to a better guy. So each guy that she would deal with always had was like a step up, a step up, a step up. And then towards the end, it was like, I guess that's the end of it. Then after that, then you kind of see them just be in their older ages. And they either be cat ladies or dog ladies. Now it's unfortunate. And I know if my people was to hear this, they'd be like, oh, he's bashing us. But no, the reason why I bring these stories up is because people can learn something from these stories. Men can and women can. And the reason why I decided to bring them up is because if you leave it to them, they'll never warn their daughters and things. My aunties and my mama, that whole generation, they never warned the kids before. They never warned their nieces and daughters. They basically co-sign their bad behavior. And then them same girls get older and they have been dealing with drug dealers and dudes that's in and out of jail. And then they try to say, what a good man at. I literally seen my cousin take care of a dude who was like basically a jail dude. She took care of him. And it was a dude that came along to try to take care of her, and she would not give that dude the time of day. It was a guy that came along. This guy had a nice job. He had his money together, everything together. And when you would hear her talk about this guy, the reason why she didn't want the guy, she would say she think that he's gay. But how is he gay when he's attracted to you? He's trying to get your attention, but you're not giving him the time of day. But you think he's gay. The guy who's in and out of jail is more likely to be gay because he's in there with a bunch of men. And they have high testosterone, so they probably fucking each other. So you get what I'm saying? This is the way that their minds work, though. So the point I'm trying to make is this. My aunties and my mom and them, they never warned my cousin them to be better. Like, don't be like us. Don't make the same mistakes we made. They don't do that. They tell them, yeah, you doing good. That's right. That's right. Treat that man that way. Do this man that way. And then when they get older in their 30s, now my cousins, the male cousins who got kids, who got boys and girls, they're then letting those same old girls come down the same old road. Sexy Red, Glorilla. The little girls know the songs word for word. And it don't help that the little girl mama don't got a mama no more because her mama passed away. But they don't sit back and tell these little girls, baby, we were wrong. This how you supposed to move to change something. They know, they tell them keep doing this shit. And it keeps getting worse and worse. But then when somebody like me step up and say something, you're the bad guy. You're saying wrong shit. You're not saying the right shit. You're evil.